How to make the fattest season your best season. Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Alessi, author of Lose Fat Forever, the Big Meal Triangle Diet, host of Live It Fit Now, and contributor for USA Today. And in my hands is 5 pounds of fat, which ironically is the average of what most people will gain between Thanksgiving and New Year. I don't think there's anybody that intentionally would like to gain that. At least nobody that's rational would want to gain that kind of fat, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to gain it either. It's not healthy. It takes up too much space. It's going to hurt your joints, and you're not going to be happy. So instead of going through the normal rigmarole of gaining fat and trying to get to the beginning of the year and hopefully get on a diet and lose it again, we're not going to do that. Instead, I want to give you a little bit of a plan so you can go into the year and really know how you can take control of this season. First and foremost, and as I alluded to in my last video, you need to have a plan for the days in between. It's not about Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day. It's not about those days. It's about all of the other little days in between. You can't drift on those days. If you drift, if you get sloppy, if you have leftovers, if you can't keep your hands out of the candy that your coworkers bring in all the time, it's going to lead to a bad place. So instead of trying to skimp on the holiday, and I never want to try to give people like a better low sugar apple pie recipe, have the real apple pie. Instead, focus on the times in between. They're very important days. Number 2, make sure that you're doing strength training at least 3 days per week. Super important. Now, people that are in my private studio and people that we watch, it's a little bit different because we're having them and helping them and making them, in many cases, do all the right training. We're encouraging them to do so. If you're not part of that, make sure that you are doing strength training. Strength training can be elaborate, it can be simple, it could be using weights, it could be using your body weight. There's many different ways to pull it off, but strength training will take some of the sugar out of your bloodstream so that it prevents it from storing as fat, and it helps you burn more calories 24 hours a day. Number 3, and super important, it's all right up here. You have to make sure that you're somewhat determined and disciplined through this time of year. It can't just be a free-for-all. Now, I know that kind of depends upon your age. I think in general, when you're younger, you're more likely to drift for many reasons. And as you get older, hopefully you're learning more and more from some of those past mistakes because you don't want to get to a place that you're not comfortable or healthy. So that's super important to make sure that you have the right mental attitude. I like to tell my clients, have confidence. You've done well before, you're going to do well right now. Know that you can do it. Make sure that you're reminding yourself, I can pull this off, and have confidence. Number 2, of course, you do have to hold yourself accountable if you don't have a third party, somebody like myself, holding you accountable. Answer to yourself. Make sure that you're staying on track. Don't go easy on yourself. I think a big mistake a lot of people make is they over-rationalize and they say, well, I'll get to it later, or I'll get to it after the weekend's over, or I'll get to it after the season's over, or I'll get to it in January. As you probably know, if you've been on this planet long enough, that oftentimes doesn't happen. So make sure that you're being disciplined right now. All of that is super important to make sure that you don't gain during this time of year and you don't get to a place that you're not happy with. Now, for some of you that want to go deeper and really break this down and drop fat during the holiday season, I'm more than happy to meet with you to do a private fitness and fat loss consultation. You could click on the link below to see everything that's involved with that, but my goal is to give you clarity and a blueprint and recommendations to help you drop more fat that very day. Yes, with your exercise, yes, with your nutrition, and of course it has to be done in a clear way and in a way in which it's repeatable so that you can get consistent results. Add this to your shopping cart right now. Hopefully today this video served you. It's my pleasure seeing you at this time of year, knowing full well you can enjoy the holiday season without packing on the extra body fat. I'm Dr. Derek Alessi, asking you to make the most of your life and live it fit.